Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. Give me just a moment to kind of set everything up. If you look in the description box right above here, I just edited it to where you guys could download that gift, but since I scheduled it, it may not be showing up. So give me just a second, and I will get everything ready for you guys. So today we're going to be talking about sales pages. This has been training that everybody's been really wanting for quite some time now, and it just so happens to kind of line up with the whole SSL thing that's going on. So I figured, why not spend some time talking about it today along with the sales pages. Hi Rachel, hi Jennifer, good to see you guys. Let's see, let me get this link. So you're going to need this. You're gonna need this because we're going to be going through it, and I'm going to be going through this handout as I'm going through my sales page and kind of like showing you guys how I've put together my sales page and how it's been kind of like a process over the last two and a half years. Okay, let me get to where I can see comments. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it looks like a couple people are here, but it's not showing me who's here, and I'm not sure why. Okay, so that's technology for you on Monday morning. Okay, so real quickly, just to give you guys a real quick summary of kind of what's going on. Hi, Svetlana, good to see you. Good morning. My mouth is not quite working yet. Okay, so we have a lot of things coming up. I just wanted to kind of recap for you really quickly before we get into this whole thing. Let's see, so we have, this is the last week of this quarter, you guys. So we're already 2 quarters into this year. Next quarter starts next month, July, August, September, and then fourth quarter, October, November, December. So this Friday or Thursday, one of the days, you're gonna see our normal bookkeeping image come up. And if you guys have any problems doing the bookkeeping, let me know, and I will help you through that. Like if you need to know how to classify an expense, or if something is deductible or something like that on your taxes. And if you know, obviously I'm in the U.S. and I'm trained in U.S. based taxes, but if you have questions and you're not in the U.S., go ahead and post them anyways, because you know, I mean, we can try to find out as best as we can as far as like Google goes and stuff like that. But you guys are going to see that coming out, and it's been an amazing first couple quarters this year. It's been great. I've been seeing a lot of the veteran members starting to come out with their content and doing their workshops and starting to follow the content creation calendars. So it's really awesome. And then, you know, we had the Summer of Magic to kind of, you know, end the second quarter with a bang, and that's been great too. And I just appreciate everybody who put time and effort into the Summer of Magic. And so as one thing I wanted to clear up real quickly too, because I think some people are still confused. So the sponsored events for the collabs that we do 2 collabs per year, okay? And this is like a graduation project. This is your way to kind of utilize all of the things you've learned here in the mentorship program and in the masterclass, and do it in such a way where you kind of, you know, you get our guidance and you get my guidance, and it's all done in a group format, so it's not as scary. And so, you know, it's like a way to kind of test the waters when it comes to doing live streams and workshops and learning how to pitch and create your offer and things like that. So we do the Summer of Magic. So this year was fantasy. Next year is going to be gods and goddesses, if you're interested in doing Summer of Magic 2019. And then we also do the 12 Days of Christmas, which we did last year, which was our first collab together, which was awesome. It was so good. I mean, it was very successful. Summer of Magic is only 1 week, and we take like around anywhere from 10 to 15 people to do it. And then 12 Days of Christmas, it is a 12-day event, not counting business days. So it's actually like 2 weeks long almost, and we can take more people at that point. This year, well, for the 12 Days of Christmas, we don't really put a theme on it. It's just kind of like, just show up and do what you want. It's kind of like, you know, we let you kind of use your imagination and just kind of think of the topics and things that are really interesting to you, and so that's your kind of permission to just go and just do whatever you want to do, and do whatever feels good and interesting to you, right? Good morning. I see people are coming in. We have also this Friday on the 6th, you guys wanted me to do an interview with my husband about, what it takes to have a supportive spouse, how to train your spouse to be supportive, what are some of the issues that kind of come up, when you are, or just dating, it doesn't have to be a spouse, it can be someone, your partner, or it can be your spouse, however you want to look at that. And just what are some of the things that kind of came up, and what were his initial thoughts when I said I wasn't going to go back to work, and things like that. We're going to be doing that on this Friday. I can't remember the time. Shoot, I think it's like 8 to 10 or something like that. It's kind of late CST, so we have to do it kind of late just to get, because he works until about 5:30. Takes him about 45 minutes to an hour to get home, and then he needs his own time to kind of decompress and things like that, and have a beer, and get into his comfortable clothes and stuff. So we'll be doing that on Friday. So I highly recommend, if you guys want to attend, I will be doing it on Zoom. And it's just going to be, we have a working list of questions. If you go to the announcements section of the group, there's, I think it's like a couple holding hands. You'll see it, the image, and you'll be able to write down any questions you might have about that. If it's too personal, if you don't want to ask those questions publicly, you can inbox me, and I've just got a running list of questions. We got a lot so far. We've got like 2 pages of questions so far. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. And then on the 11th, we have our planner party. So this is going to be on Zoom. If you have never been to a planner party with me before, everybody's welcome to come. It's just that only certain people are going to be allowed to claim the one-on-one time during the planner party. It's a very specific type of group coaching opportunity, and it's for people who are working on their content creation calendar. So it is not like a general coaching opportunity. It's specifically for either creating a workshop, either or a challenge or a series. Basically, it's, if you go to module, I think it's 19, community building, and if you go down to those content creation calendars that I have, so if you want to if you want my help to help you plan like your content for next month, or if you want help like planning a workshop and or a challenge and launching something, that would be the time to do that. And so, like I said, this is, if you've never been to one before, I recommend that you just, and you're brand new and you're not even like at the point where you're anywhere near module 19, I still recommend that you still come and just listen, because listening to the process is part of the practical application. So in the module 19, I talk a lot about the theory. So if you can come and listen to the practical application part of it, then you're going to get a lot out of it, even if you're not going to be speaking with me directly. What else? On the 16th, we have the Build Your 5K package. Really excited about that one. That one's going to be really cool. And then, and then here's something really important. My last thing I wanted to tell you just briefly before we get into this is I have my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law, my nieces and my nephews are all coming in. They're all going to be staying with me. They're coming in, I think, on the 20th through the 26th. So we're not going to have a Monday morning training on the 23rd, and that's why I'm pushing a whole bunch of things into the next 3 weeks to kind of make up for that. We are going to be having Psychic Circle. Psychic Circle is happening this Friday, and then it's happening again on the 27th. So those dates are normal. Nothing has changed on there. But through the 20th through the 26th, I believe that's how long they're staying. I'm waiting for them to tell me the dates so I can tell you guys the dates and all that kind of stuff. But what is it? The 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th week of July, I'm going to be pretty much gone that whole week. I do have, if you guys are interested, I know some of you were wanting the one-on-one sessions for $97. And right now, like, I am pretty much booked out until August 8th. But I was looking at the 1st through the 6th, which is Independence Day here in the USA. It's a big holiday. Everything shuts down. Most everything shuts down. But I'm going to be gone, so we're not going to have office hours on that Wednesday. That's going to be next Wednesday. So we won't have office hours then. But that Thursday, I don't have anything planned. So if anybody wants to claim that Thursday, I will make an exception for you for a one-on-one for 97. So just let me know if you want to claim that. Again, that's, or if you have a free session that you want to claim. So that's for the lifetime members only. So Thursday on the 5th, I will make space for someone if someone wants to claim it. Okay. So as far as the SSL security certificates go, we've known about this for a while, actually. We've known about this since 2015, that this was going to be happening. That at some point, and Google was like not really, and by the way, this is for Google Chrome specifically. It's not necessarily for other browsers, but it's for Google Chrome specifically. And so what the deal is that, you know, we've gotten away with a lot of things for a really long time, and you know, the commissions are becoming really stringent upon, like, you know, having to encrypt your website and privacy protections and things like that, and really trying to crack down on fraud and, you know, people stealing credit cards and buying up a whole bunch of stuff online and things like that. So one of the ways that Google is combating that is that they are requiring pretty much all websites, all domains, to have an SSL security certificate on their website as, and if they don't, then basically what happens is their website is flagged as not secure. So this isn't so much a problem for like blogs and things like that, although if depending on like the level of security that you have through your antivirus and the level of security that you have through your security, through like safe search and those types of filters on your Google Chrome, it could bring up this big screen that says that, you know, danger, danger, this is not safe. This could be malicious. This could be a malicious site that's going to steal your identity and things like that. And so Google has started the process of deranking websites that don't have the SSL. And so when you go to a website and you look at the very top bar, you know, where you have the domain name, if you look over, it's going to be mirror image, but if you look over to the left-hand side, and you'll see like this little section, it'll say either secure, not secure, or it'll have like a circle with an exclamation point in it, or it will have like some type of green bar, just kind of depending on what kind of SSL we're talking about, where it came from, and everything like that. And so what the SSL does is it's a security socket layer certificate. So normally when you're browsing the internet, okay, so just say you're browsing the internet and looking for things like normal through Google, whatever engine that you want to use, it'll bring up a website, right? And so for the last couple of years, we've been seeing that little circle with the exclamation point underneath it, and just, again, depending on the level of antivirus that you have, it could be saying, your antivirus could be saying, because this website does not have an SSL security certificate, that it could be unsafe or malicious. And so what the SSL does, so let me backtrack just a second. So when you're browsing the internet, right, you are having your computer's IP is like your address, like your home address, but you have an IP address for your computer, for the point at which you're accessing the internet. And all of your devices have their own IP. So your iPad has its own IP, your tablet has its own IP, your computer has its own IP, your phone has its own IP. And a lot of the problems with Wi-Fi is when you have certain devices that are like trying to use the same IP and then you can't connect to the internet. So that's one reason why, you know, maybe you have Wi-Fi, but sometimes your device can't connect, and sometimes you have to reboot the whole entire modem so that all the devices can be assigned a whole new IP address, right? And so previously, you know, you would talk to your computer, your IP would talk to the website's IP, and it would be in this direct dialogue. You'd be like, okay, this computer wants to do this, and they're asking for this sort of navigation, and it takes you to this site. Okay. So that's not very secure for you as the person who owns the website and as the person who is viewing the website, because that there's no buffer between that. So let's say, for example, there was a computer that was running a worm or something, like a computer or some type of device that was running some sort of virus and was trying to access through bots, computers and things like that. There's no buffer. There's no like measure of security. So what the SSL does is it encrypts your website, number one. So if you want to take payments or something like that directly off your website, then you need to have an SSL, because it encrypts the payments so that hackers can't just come into your website and get that information. But then also it provides a layer of security on our end, because if there are these bots that are like trying to attack our website with viruses and trying to like log in to our website, or trying to buy things off our website with stolen credit cards, the SSL kind of creates like this buffer between them and your website. And so it's like everything that the user does on anything the user does that's trying to navigate on your website has to go through the SSL to be approved or not. So the SSL kind of looks at it like, is this normal behavior? Where is this coming from? And it may even possibly like scan the IP and see what else it has been accessing. And that's why, again, the privacy policies are so important, and the cookies and things like that, the cookie notifications on our website, because we're going to be checking against that to make sure that these aren't just bots that are trying to take over our website and lock us out and do all of these malicious things. That there's many viruses out there that do this all day long, and people make money off of this kind of stuff, right? Through fraud and chargebacks and things like that, ended up charging you money on stolen credit cards, and then they get that back. So it's like this whole ring of you know underground type of behavior online. And it can be kind of scary if you don't know a lot about it, right? And so the SSL, the reason why, if you've noticed, I've just got my SSL for my subdomain and my main domain last week, last Wednesday. And so you may have noticed that the website's just a little bit slower. It takes a little bit more time to kind of access certain things or to go to web pages and things like that. It might get hung up for just a second. And the reason why is because your computer's IP is talking to my SSL, which is talking to my website, and it's saying, are we going to allow this action to happen or not? So one of the trade-offs with the SSL is that makes your website just a little bit slower, but it's worth that, I think, in my opinion, just for the simple sake of having protection on your end. But now, since 2015, Google has been deranking. So, if you know anything about the Google engine, if you type anything into Google and any type of keyword or something you're looking for, you're going to see like this page where it's like, these suggested websites, and then everything else just kind of goes to the bottom, and then there's like pages and pages and pages. Well, how many of us actually go through those pages? Not a lot of us, not a lot of us, not a lot of the time. And so what has been happening is that even though your website may be relevant, even though you might have good SEO, even though you might have like relevant content, or it might be exactly what people are looking for, if you don't have an SSL security certificate, it's Google is deranking you and pushing you all the way to the back of the line and giving priority to the people that do have the SSLs, because Google is really big on security, right? And also, it messes with them too. And also, we have people that are doing, just like people are running virus scams on people's websites. We also have people out there that are doing virus scams on SEO and ranking and trying to do that illegally. And one of the ways that they prevent that from doing is making legitimate websites. Unfortunately, we have to pay the bill on that because of all of the bad people out there that are trying to take advantage of these websites and things like that, and these search engines and things like that. It's like we kind of have to front the bill, because it's another deterrent. It's another, someone who's running a scam is not likely going to spend the $500 to set up a website for a couple years, right? So they've been doing it on websites that don't really have the SSLs, or they don't have those layers of encryption and things like that. So again, unfortunately, we have to kind of, because of some bad people in the world, we have to pay the bill on that, and that just becomes our burden as legitimate business owners. Now, as far as pricing goes, you can get an SSL. You can get basic encryption. I think they start at like $30 a year, or maybe like $5 or $6 a month, just kind of depending on the length at which you get your SSL. Hi, Marissa. Good morning. And then you have a whole other layer for e-commerce, which is what I did. So that's why you're going to see a major difference. Not only is there different types of SSLs that accomplish different things, but there's different types of SSLs that offer certain benefits. So for example, your regular SSL, all it does is it encrypts your website. All it does is it provides that buffer. So all that's going to do, the $30 a year or the $5 or $6 a month SSL, all that's going to do is it's just going to get you legitimized for Google. Now, that's fine for like blogs, or if you don't want to, take credit cards on your website, or if you're using PayPal buttons and things like that. That's fine. All you need is that first level. And if you only have the one domain and you don't have any subdomains and things like that, it makes it really easy. It's an easy choice. So if you have just the one domain and you're not using any sort of API on your website, which is like, I, for example, use Stripe, so I have a Stripe API set up with a webhook to where I can actually I have Stripe as my merchant on my website now, as of last week. But if you want to just keep using PayPal buttons and things like that, that's fine. That's good. It won't flag with Google. You'll be fine. It won't say that it's not secure or anything like that. So you may not need like the big package like I had to do. I personally wanted to get away from PayPal. One of the big things this year for me is getting rid of PayPal as my main processor. I don't like the fact that people can just do a chargeback and they can just, even if I have, and see, here's the thing. It's like, here's the thing. It wouldn't be such a big deal if, if they didn't, it wasn't a big deal previously, but now PayPal has started charging you $25 for every single chargeback that is claimed against you, whether you win or lose. So, whenever someone comes into my course, I have it to where, there's they have to, through PayPal, they have to agree there's no refunds or cancellations. I take screenshots of the entire onboarding experience. I take screenshots occasionally of people saying positive things about the mentorship program and things like that. And I will do that for up to 6 months for every single person, every new person that comes into this course. Because if you don't keep those sort of records, it's really hard to win a PayPal case against you for a chargeback, especially on digital goods and services. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So what I've done now is I have decided to move away from PayPal, and I've decided to go ahead and set up a merchant account on my website. And to do that, I needed, hi Latanya, good morning. And to do that, I needed to go with the big shebang. So there's a couple different types of SSLs. There's the regular SSL, which is for one domain. There's the positive wildcard SSL, which is what I got, which is for your main domain and all of your first level subdomains. And then there's things that go on from there if you need like second level subdomains and things like that, more of the extensive. But that's kind of, you don't really need that. That's more for like banking websites or like universities, these websites that have multiple components to them and need to justify that level of having so many hidden subdomains and so many different subdomains for different reasons. Us, we really can just pretty much get away with the positive wildcard SSL, which is it's first level domains and first level subdomains. So how I have my website, angelicrumseminary.com, then I have members.angelicrumseminary.com. If I wanted to create another subdomain, I could certainly do that, and it would have the SSL. But to do that, in order to do that, there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind. There are places out there that will claim to sell your SSLs cheaper. The problem with that is that you have no idea how to actually install your SSL, and in most cases they will not do it for you. So you're going to see a lot of conflicting prices when it comes to the positive wildcard SSL if you plan on collecting credit cards off your website. And you want another thing too with the positive wildcard SSL is you get $10,000 worth of fraud protection. So let's say some hacker gets onto my website and they decide to spend $5,000 worth of stolen credit cards on my website for whatever reason, right? With my SSL, I have $10,000 worth of warranty with that. With the regular SSL that I was talking about earlier, the one that just gets you compliant with Google, you do not get that. You don't get the 10K insurance. But again, if you're not using a merchant through your website and you're just using PayPal buttons, then you probably don't really need it, right? So another thing that I had to get as well is I had to get to do the positive wildcard SSL. I had to do a dedicated domain. And here's the thing: is that I'm a web developer. I can do graphic design and I can tell you how to make pages and use plugins and things like that. But when it comes to like the high level stuff like installing SSLs, like it just makes my eyes cross. Like I don't know. I have no idea what's involved in that. That's more on the hosting side. So it kind of depends on where you're hosted at. I really recommend that you actually talk to your host about it and ask them for solutions first before buying one of these cheap SSLs that are going to promise you all of this stuff, because you may find out like I did that you don't need just the SSL. You also need a dedicated domain. You need someone to install it for you. You guys don't even know, like and I had help doing this. So on Wednesday and Thursday alone, I was on support for at least 6 or 7 hours, at least, going through this whole process. Like they had to install it. Then it broke my website, and so that's why I say, unless you have a web developer, unless you have someone that's actually doing this for you, that you get your hosting from, or you have a main host that you're going to ask about getting this onto your website, don't try to do it by yourself, because you will break your shit and it will not be good. And then you will have nobody to help you fix it, because I can't help you and nobody in this group can help you. You're going to have to pay. So you have to kind of decide, am I going to take the cheap SSL and just pray for the best and hope it works, even though I don't know what I'm doing? Or am I just going to bite the bullet, pay the cost of it, especially if you're going to do the merchant account, and just let them do it for you. But in the meantime, regardless if you need the positive wildcard SSL and the merchant account and the dedicated domain and all that stuff like I do, like I said, you may not be there. The free SSL, and by the way, Bluehost, my host, I'm with Bluehost, they offer a free SSL for your main domain. Doesn't have the 10K warranty, but it'll at least get you, encrypted enough to where when July 1st comes around, people are not going to be dinged on that. So does anybody have any question about the SSLs? And if they need a regular SSL, or if they need a little bit, they need the higher end SSL. Is everybody good on that? Oh no, Rachel, that's okay. It's been a weird tech day for me too. Okay, so just to recap, if you plan on taking payments right off of your website and you don't plan on using PayPal buttons, and you're going to use some sort of API like with Stripe or something like that, and you're going to collect if someone's going to sit on your website and input their credit card right on your website, you need the mega bundle like I have. But not for SSLs, Marissa. Not for SSLs. Nope. I'll rewatch for SSL. Yep, you do, Rachel. You do need one. Especially because of how you're doing your subdomain right now. So, as far as in the future, or where you guys are at right now, if you guys are building a website right now and you guys are thinking about going through a membership and things like that, I would highly recommend either getting the SSL right when you create that subdomain, or just simply not doing it on a subdomain. It kind of depends on you. And like for me, for example, I have a couple different memberships things going on. So I needed that subdomain to be different from my main domain for the different kinds of features that my theme will give me and things like that. But as far as like you guys that are thinking about starting up your membership site, really think about getting everything outlined as best as you can before you do it, because the moment that you want to start taking credit cards, you're going to need that SSL. And one of the things I ran into was the one of the things that I ran into was that because my subdomain was already pretty well built up, and I had all of this backlinking built up and things like that, I had to go through a whole nother layer of technical support simply because we had to force all of my backlinking to HTTPS. So before you get really invested in building your membership site, either do it on the free domain, or not the free domain, but the main domain with the free SSL if you get one through your what's it called, host, or just put off building your membership site until you know that you're like 3 months away from launching. Do we need one for each subdomain? You need one. What you're going to get, Rachel, is called the Positive Wildcard SSL. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you first level domains and first level subdomains. You're also probably going to need a dedicated IP as well. Right now, my websites are costing me about, let me see, how much did I spend? Plus hosting. So is that. Yeah, so right now my websites are costing me about $26 a month. No, well, it just depends, Rachel. It just depends. You'll have to go back and listen. Yeah, you'll have to go back and listen. But it just depends, because you're going to need you do not get a free SSL with every single domain through Bluehost. You only get it for one domain. So unless you want to sign up a whole brand new account and you have to pay for additional hosting and things like that. So there's really no shortcut. There's really no shortcut this time around. I don't have a shortcut for you guys. It's just, it is what it is. Chances are you're going to probably want to do a wildcard SSL for Chrome Academy, and then you're going to want to keep your other Modron Lotus Garden. You'll probably want to just put the free SSL on there. If you get one with your domain, or with your hosting, I'm not sure if you do. Bluehost you do. But wherever you're going to be putting your membership site, that's the one that needs the SSL wildcard, because it's going to, unless you're only going to have the one domain, but I don't think you're going to be doing that, right? Because you're going to have Modron Lotus Garden, which is like your blog website, right? And then you're going to have Chrome Academy, which is your members.Chrome Academy and things like that. But yeah, so very exciting. Not really. Not really. It's just another thing that we have to kind of do. It cost me about $250 for 1 year. So really think about it, really think about setting up how everything's going to work before you get your SSL. It's just like another layer of things that you have to kind of think about, forethought. And it's going to be a lot harder to just kind of swap around domains. You're going to have to make a decision, Okay, so any other questions about SSL before we move on to sales pages? July 1st. July 1st. Do you have a SSL on any of your domains? Let me go look, see. Where's your host through, Rachel? Where do you have your host through? Yeah, so you don't have it. You don't have that on yours. You don't have it on any of them. Which is why, I was gonna go ahead and move us over to MakeTerrorYourBusiness.com, but after this, I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been $500 for a year. are you hosted, Rachel? Okie dokie. So let's talk about sales pages here. Um, does everybody have the handout? This is kind of like a quick kind of template for sales pages and slash checklist. Okay, let me get to where I can see comments too. I'm almost at the point where I need 3 monitors. Dang it. Okay, so who here is actually kind of ready to start building a sales page? No problem, Lynn. Who here is about ready to do sales pages or has done some sales pages in the past? Who has a feel for it yet? Make sure you get this out while I'm talking to you. Okay, Rachel has. Yep. Okay, so the main thing with your sales page that I want to tell you right now is that your sales page is going to be a love and a hate relationship for you. You're gonna have days where you hate your sales page and you're just gonna want to delete it. It can be a great sales page too, but you're gonna have days where you're gonna hate everything about your sales page, and then you're gonna have days where you love your sales page too. Um, Here's the thing, is that in most cases, this is why we're doing this training today, so you can get started on the best foot possible, so that you can get a lot of these important things that you need on your sales page to really convert better. And it's you're not going to build a sales page in one day and it's going to be the best sales page ever. So I want everybody to kind of get out of the mindset that this is something that like you build once and then you're good from there. It's simply not true. My best sales pages I've been working on for 3 years. So, and it's a process, and it has a lot to do with how well you know your ideal client. It has a lot to do with how your beliefs about your program or your course or whatever it is that you're sharing, because your course or your sales. Sorry, I have someone messaging me on. Let me mute this conversation. So distracting. This is why I say don't message me. Okay. Mute. Okay, I'll get back to you later. Okay, so sales pages. Again, it goes back to how well you know your ideal client. It goes back to how much you believe in your program. It goes into your copywriting skills. There's a lot to your sales page. It's not just a matter of, I'm just going to put this program up for sale on a sales page and put some checkout buttons and then it'll just sell. There's a lot of psychology behind it. I mean, it can be that easy, but it's typically a lot more in depth than that. So, we're not going to be talking about WordPress today. I know I said that I would, but honestly, I can't. I can't do. After last week, I just can't do it. So this is going to be more of a general thing. Yeah, I'm not going to be showing you how to construct it. We're just going to be going through the sales page today. Okay? So, when you think about your sales page, you kind of want to think about it you want to think about it as representing and symbolizing your best qualities. The best qualities about your course, your program, your membership site, the best qualities about you, the areas in which you're most qualified, and you also want to think about your website in the light of your sales page in the light of like, if you were on the other end of this, if you were on the other end of this, and you were thinking about buying your program, you know, if you were looking at a sales page and you were thinking about buying a program, what would you need to know to make that purchase? And I think a lot of us forget to kind of go back to that stage. And for a lot of us, that was a really long time ago. So it's even harder, you know, especially when I'm doing a one-on-one with someone on the phone or a video, you know, and we're talking about ideal clients and we're talking about, you know, what we need to know about their struggles and things like that to create these workshops and challenges and series and things like that to kind of to convert them into being buyers. A lot of us have like lost the connection with who we used to be, and for some of us it can be an issue of like, you know, thinking back to like all of the traumas that we've endured at that point, you know, thinking about, and for a lot of us, you know, when we first invested in our first program or our first membership site or our first course or something like that, we might have not been in the best state. That might have not been the best time in our lives. So we work a lot on overcoming that. We work a lot on releasing the trauma, and we work a lot on like who we are becoming. But we don't sell based on that. We sell based off of where people are in the moment, right? Does that make sense with everybody? And so this is perhaps one of the most difficult parts of creating a sales page is being able to put yourself back in that time period and being able to remember, you know, what you were struggling with. And what you struggle with is 99% of the time the majority of what your clients are going to struggle with. Hopefully, hopefully you're selling something that you have the life experience and the wisdom and the negative experiences in your past as well to be able to sell. So there could be some disconnect there. If writing copy or if building sales pages or talking to people in general is hard for you, it might be because you perhaps aren't qualified to know what those people are going through. And so I see this sometimes, you know, when I'm not anybody in this group actually, but I see this in other groups that I'm in. Like for example, I'm in some other coaching groups, and I'm in some other membership site groups, and they're nowhere near as advanced as all of us are here. Let me just tell you guys that. But I have seen people that will, and I'll just pick some random scenarios here. I'll see people that are like on like they'll even say this too. Let's say they're like on their fourth marriage or something, and they have, you know, like they've never been in a marriage for longer than 3 years or something, and it always ends up in divorce, and then they want to become like relationship coaches, and they're trying to sell this relationship coaching package to help people find their twin flame and soulmate and things like that. And um, there's this level of inauthenticity with it, you know, and so they're struggling, and so they're not going to be able to know what words to use. They're not going to be able to know how to tap into their client's struggle. They're not going to be able to know, you know, how to sell something that they've never actually accomplished. And so it's really important that when you are putting together, whether it's even a workshop, because I mean your sales page, you're going to have your sales page is also for your workshops. I mean, it's also for your courses. It's for everything. If you can write a good sales page, you can write a great opt-in page. If you can master the art of sales pages, then you can pretty much write anything at this point, right? And so when you're thinking about like, you know, what you're trying to sell and things like that, it's really important to really be able to connect with the people that you're actually wanting to help and to have that life experience. Because if you don't, then your sales page is just, no matter how much time and effort and how many beautiful pictures you put on it, if you can't speak the language of what that person is going through, and if you can't empathize with that person, you're not going to be able to sell them. It doesn't matter how beautiful your sales page is. If you can't connect empathically with them, then you're not going to get a conversion. That makes sense. Rachel says, yeah, that jargon is hard to remove, or letting them know exactly what they're getting without giving everything away. Yeah, there is an art to it. And of course, like, and I can give you all the technical training I can, but there, no matter what we do as creators is an artistic thing. And so, yes, I can give you like the structure, but as far as like really having something beautiful and well made and touching and things like that, that's where the artist has to kind of come through with you. Lynn says, this is funny because wait until you see what I've written for that thing you asked me to figure out. Lynn says, in synchronicity, so must be on the right track. Awesome. I'm glad. I'm very excited to see. So, does everybody have this worksheet out? Let me get this. I swear I'm organized today. I swear I am. Go in there. Nope. Here's what we're going to do here. I don't know what it is, but the computer is just not cooperating today. Okay, so the very first thing that people see should be the title of your session, your workshop, your course, or your program. And then the next thing they should see is what your program teaches and 3 results clients get. Okay, that's the very first thing. So, what am I selling? I'm selling the only business school for tarot readers. What am I going to be teaching? I'm teaching real marketing strategies, business building techniques, so you can learn how to results, make lots of money, fill your appointment books easily and effortlessly, and enjoy the freedom lifestyle. Okay, so we start with the big vision. We start with showing people what it is that could be possible by enrolling in our whatever it is that we're selling. Okay, so we need the title, we need the program and what it teaches, and 3 results that clients can get. So again, if you're not connected with your ideal client, if you don't know what their struggles are and you don't know what ultimately they want, then you don't know how to kind of give them the carrot on the stick in the very beginning and say, hey, this is possible for you. This is what awaits you on the other side of this, right? Google. Rachel says, any tips on researching to see if we're the only ones doing what we do? We're never the only ones doing what we do. There's always going to be someone out there that has a similar idea, but they're never you. For example, Biddy Tarot, she does business coaching, but she doesn't do it like I do. She does more of the, well, without having seen her course and just based off of what people have told me, she's more about like getting people prepared to run a business, whereas I actually teach business skills. Like I actually teach that. So what that is, Rachel, that's called market research. And so I would literally just type into Google Divination Academy, palmistry course, tarot course, intuitive reading course, intuitive tarot reading course. I would even put something like in some groups where you're doing some market research where you could even ask like, has anybody ever taken a palmistry course? Where did you take it? Blah, blah, blah. Udemy is also a good place to kind of look at and see some of the languages that they're using and stuff. But we kind of want to, we really want to speak from our heart. We don't really want to, like, we can use other people's sales pages as inspiration and things like that, like kind of give us some clues. But personally, I try to stay away from other people that are doing the similar thing that I am doing because I feel that it taints um, my vision. And then I find myself also comparing myself to other people. Okay, for example, Biddy Tarot is an amazing producer. They have a lot of money invested in production. They have a lot of teams and things like that. I don't have that. So if I wanted to go look at her website for inspiration, I might feel like a piece of shit after looking at that. I might feel like that my sales page is like just, why even bother trying? I should just delete it today. I should just quit today and stop what I'm doing because I will never be able to compare production value. So more important than production value is the language that you're using. Because like I said, if you can connect with people empathically, and if you can say things to people that let them know that you actually understand their struggles, yeah, a nice really nice looking sales page is one thing, but it's more about the language that you use and the process in which you take people throughout the sales page. Okay. Next, I have a decorative full with image. So when it comes to your images, you want to use images, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to want to use images of people. So people's body parts, people's faces. People are more likely to feel a level of trust if they have a smiling face looking back at them. That's just basic psychology. People are more likely to click through when they see a face versus something else, versus like a stylized desk photo or something with the ones that we see all the time, like the decorative backgrounds and things like that. People are more likely to feel a sense of safety when they see faces or human body parts. Okay. And you also want to pick photos that directly relate to what it is that you're selling. So, for example, um, you want to put at least probably 80% of photos that relate directly to what it is you're selling. So, yeah, we have these really pretty decorative photos and things like that on Pixabay and Pixabay, Pexels, and websites like that we have. But those are better for Instagram. Those are better for Twitter. Those are better for your long and short posts. Those are not so wonderful for sales pages. Sales pages, you really want to be kind of specific with the images. And if you have your own images that you can, with your own branding behind it, hey, that's even better. But, that does take a lot of effort. And that's kind of like, for me, I mean, maybe I'll get there one day. But for right now, especially with Canva, there's so many awesome photos, especially for our industry on Canva that they're really coming out with. I would definitely, if you have a marketing budget, I would definitely shoot for getting a package off of iStock and getting some really good photos, because that's what's really going to take your sales page up a notch, and it's really going to make it something really special instead of just flinging some free photos on there just to make it have photos. I mean, you kind of do want to be intentional with it. And then the next part, you want to ask 3 questions. You want to ask them, how would their lives change? Okay, so right now, so in the very first beginning, we kind of paint this picture of what their life could look like. So the picture that I've painted is someone who has money in the bank, someone who has a full book of appointments, and someone who is having the freedom lifestyle, which could be that they're at their kid's game and they're playing on their phone and they're doing a reading on their phone through the hotlines. Or it could be that that they can set their own schedule. They don't have to wake up and go to a job and report to someone else. Okay. So the very first thing, we want to kind of paint this picture of what their life could actually look like. And basically what that is it's like what they in this moment what they want for themselves. Okay. Creative market is another really good one. Yes, creative market's really good. And then you want to go into ask 3 questions. How would their lives change? So in the beginning, they're saying, yeah, Christina, that would be nice and all, but like, how do I get there? Like when people are thinking about buying something from you that's going to teach them a process, some sort of transformational process, they don't know the steps that it's going to take them to get there, right? So you have to kind of explain to them. Okay, so what are some things that we're going to be changing? So 1, how would your business goals and plans change if you were clear about what it takes to run a real business reading tarot cards? Well, the person reading this would probably be like, wow, I'd probably know what was expected of me. I would probably feel like my business was going somewhere. I would probably feel more confident, right? And at the end of the day, like I was talking to Rachel about this the other day, and I don't know if I've talked to you guys about this before. I don't know if I've had this conversation with you guys. But selling is very lower chakra based. People don't buy based on their higher chakras. People, in most cases, people buy based off their root chakra, which is about, getting some measure of their health back, or about wealth, which would be like your stability and abundance and things like that. So health would be like stress reduction, quitting smoking, losing weight, life coaches for that regard, spiritual coaches in terms of like helping people get their chakras up and together, and like you really want to focus on the health benefits of that, the health benefits of what is someone's ideal of health, and then talking about how whatever you're selling relates to their health. Okay, so that could be like stress reduction, and then the other part of it is health, or what, or no, wealth. So wealth. So it's about stability. It's about confidence. It's about abundance. It's about feeling like they can manifest things and things like that, right? So the best sales pages will hit on a little bit of health and a little bit of wealth, but in general, most people buy impulsively because they are so uncomfortable in their lower chakras, to where it's like, they're severely blocked, and so they buy based off that because they want to relieve that pressure of the lower chakras, of the discomfort of what that is, the discomfort of what they're feeling, right? So we buy. If you think back to the last things that you've bought, if you think back to the last courses that you've bought, or the last workshops that you bought, think about why you bought them, right? So give me some examples. Tell me some of the last things that you bought. See, either with the wealth part, it's either saving time, it's being more efficient, and then with the health part, it's like stress reduction, mental clarity, that sort of thing. So what are some things that you all have bought recently, like within the last couple months, and why did you buy them? Hi, Victoria. Good morning. Whether you bought a tarot reading or you went to Walmart and got something for yourself. So the last major thing that I bought personally was, other than the SSL, and that was for obviously financial reasons, I bought the all new like dishware set for myself. And why? It's because I hated the dishware that I had, and I resented it, and I really wanted to get rid of it because there was just too many things, and I felt overwhelmed, and I felt like I never had time to like do dishes, and I felt like whenever I cooked, it didn't. I didn't feel like the dishware that I had really framed the type of food that I wanted to create and the presentation that I wanted to have. So it was about, for me, it was about my health. It was about my mental health. It was about stress reduction. It was about decluttering, that sort of thing. Rachel says, I bought the wild medicine box for this month. It's God-based for the solstice. I've always wanted an apothecary at home, so I'm loving talking about. So you bought it for health reasons. Because for whatever reason, having an apothecary eliminates some sort of stress for you around your health, right? Your physical health, your mental health. What about people, Marissa says, what about people who can create sales pages based on a healed future? I know shamanic websites sometimes includes pictures of native people because they are so integrated. Okay, Marissa, as long as you're authentic with it, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And especially in your industry, it's a little bit, it would be like for us if we were using like images of gypsies and things like that. For you, it's a little bit different because you're basing your practices off of indigenous traditions, things like that. So you don't want to. So I get what you mean. You don't want to like culturally appropriate in that way, but you know, if you've actually been there and you have, I know you have, like I would include, as long as it's balanced with some pictures of yourself in a similar type of environment, that would be fine. Even if it was just you in the forest, right? Because that at that point you are like, you're saying I am like this, and so then it's authentic for you. But let's say you lived in New York City and you never got to the forest ever, and you're trying to sell a shamanic course with all of these pictures of indigenous people in these Amazon rainforests and things, then that would be a problem. Does that make sense? A healed future, for sure. That would be part of that very top line. That would be like the only course, the only mentorship program, the only whatever that teaches you how to heal your future, past, present, and heal yourself now in the past, present, and future. That type of thing. Plus, it's new things every month for myself. Yeah, Rachel. So anytime you go to make a purchase, I just want you to start thinking about that. over the next, like, for the end of the rest of this year, to be able to sell really well, you need to understand how people buy. So anytime you feel prompted to buy something, anytime you see a Facebook ad that's like, ooh, I want that, I want you to ask yourself, why do I want that? What is it going to relieve for me, and what do I feel it's going to get me? And that's the type of language that we should be using on our sales pages. And maybe even if you see some really good lines on sales pages, some really good, like, questions, some really good, like, thought-provoking type of copywriting, write it down. You know, start compiling a list of these things that motivate you to buy, because through the law of attraction, what you buy, what and how you buy is going to be how the majority of your clients buy. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Marissa says, Lynn says, I rented a vehicle to go see my new grandson. So for you, that was health related, for your mental health. You know, you had to go. You had to go see. It was an emotional thing. Marissa says, I bought the Sacred Science ebook because it's based on indigenous medicine and lifestyle. So would that be probably health for you? Rachel says, it fulfills my desire to be the friendly neighborhood witch, which is warm, earthly, root chocolate feeling. I agree. I agree. So it's like we buy things, we buy the small things, no matter how small they are, whether we're selling a $5,000 package or whether we're selling a $27 workshop. The way people buy is the same. And so that's why I'm, like, always saying it's not about the price. It's not about the price. It's about how well you can sell. Because if you can sell something at $27 mindlessly, you can sell a $5,000 package. You just have to know the formula in which to speak with people. Marissa says, not everyone does that, but there are people who do. They do. I know. That's their own karma, though. That's the way I kind of look at it. It's like, you know, I try not to judge other people. I can have my own thoughts about other people, and that could also be, Marissa, one of the key components of your polarization, where you decide consciously not to be that person, and that's what's going to make your course, whatever, different than everybody else's out there. And then the people that recognize that and feel the same way you do are going to be attracted to your sales page versus theirs, whether they know consciously why or not. But it's going to be that polarization that you need to be different, which is, again, why I don't go look at Biddy Tarot, because, again, she's going to attract a certain type of person that is, like, you know, really attracted to the whole production value of it, and they want the quote-unquote experience of it, whereas I'm more like, I want people to come and I want people to be here for the information, not for the experience of it. Does that make sense? So you kind of have to figure out, like, what does my client really want from me, and what are they hoping to get out of it? And then your sales page is going to be a really deep reflection of that too. Does that make sense? Lynn says, spent to be there for my son because I knew it was important to him. One chance to be there, so spent for love. Yes, I agree. That is what I do. Me next to the bayou. Yes, I agree. Rachel says, perhaps noting the trend of when you master your energy and work on your inner self through divination, it ripples out to stabilize everything around you, because I notice a lack of self-confidence and belief in yourself due to a lack of stability in my grip. I mean, yeah, for sure. That sort of thing affects all life areas. For sure, Rachel. Yeah, for sure. And so you really have to get in touch. Also, Rachel, I think what you're kind of getting at here is where this conversation is leading is, what is the big vision? You know, your business is not just about making money, although that's an awesome part of it. Making lots of money is a byproduct of your big vision. So if you could think about, like, your business as a movement for social justice, you know, a movement for this big belief, this thing that you're trying to get out there, these problems and these struggles that you see in the world that you know deep down, they don't have to be problems. They don't have to be struggles. So what is the movement? You know, what is the movement? For me, it's about getting people out of their 9-to-5 jobs. It's about getting people into where they can make money from home. They can spend time with their kids. They can spend time with their disabled spouses or their elderly parents. They can, you know, so for me, my movement is the freedom lifestyle. It's about being mobile, being able to go anywhere and being able to make money anywhere and not having to like show up at a job or show up for, having to work for someone else or something like that. Yes, we have our clients and yes, we have our responsibilities. But at the end of the day, I get to choose when and how I work. And so you kind of have to dig into that big vision and figure out what is your actual movement. Like, what are you going to take over the world with? And then your sales page is like an invitation to get people to join you in that movement. Does that make sense? That's okay, Lynn. That's okay. And then the next thing is how much easier selling tarot readings could be if you were more confident about who you are, what you do, and how you help people. Okay, so coming back to that confidence. Confidence is something that's going to come around for every single one of you. Confidence to find your twin flame soulmate. Confidence to take charge of your health. Confidence to break energetic, toxic relationships. Confidence to learn how to read tarot. Confidence in reading tarot. Confidence, there's so many ways that confidence is at the root of everything for everybody. If we only felt confident about something, then it would not be an issue. It would not be a struggle for us, right? So you definitely want to talk about how you're going to make people confident and how confidence is really at the root of everything. It's going to affect their mind, body, and spirit. So yeah, I'm telling people how to be confident in their business, but guess what? That's also going to translate to helping people be confident in their relationships, having people being confident in their ability to have credit card debt that's not going to, feel icky for them. Confidence in being able to do public speaking, confidence in being able to teach other people. So it's more than we're not selling exactly, the confidence to do whatever we're teaching people how to do. We're teaching people how to basically look at the thing that they're struggling with the most right now, start there by building confidence, and then as Rachel said, the confidence will ripple out to everything else in their lives. And so that's why you kind of have to look at what you're selling as like this holistic thing. And then last, if you are motivated by a coach who is obsessed with your success and surrounded by other tarot readers who are just as serious about their business and making lots of money as you are. And so that comes down to the support thing, right? So we're selling support, we're selling confidence, and we're selling knowledge. Does that make sense? Yeah, this will work for everything, Marissa. This will work for everything. So the last thing we're selling is the support, because obviously they can't do it alone, right? If they could do it alone, then they would have already done it. And whether the support is through a course, whether it's a DIY, whether just listening to videos, or whether it's a coaching package, or whether it's a membership site, kind of like, what we have here, at the end of the day, we need to make it known that they can't do it alone. They have to do it with our help, because if they could do it without our help, then they would already have it done, right? So we need to bring that sort of awareness to them. And that's kind of where a lot of people kind of struggle with their selling their one-on-one packages, is they're too afraid to, they think they're being egotistical by saying, no, you actually need my help. Like, you can't do this by yourself, And it's not egotistical. It's, you are there for a reason. You're offering someone a transformational experience. So you need to get okay and be okay and confident with saying, you know what, you could, like, for example, with Rachel, with your Divination Academy. So your polarization, your trigger point for these people is, sure, you could spend the next 10 years on Google and you can learn a whole bunch of things. But if you don't have a mentor that shows you how to do this and you don't have someone that you can ask these questions to and get some real instruction with, then you're going to be forever just in the sea of Google information and you're not going to get anywhere. But when you have a mentor or when you have a coach, when you have someone leading you through this process, it, one, saves you time. So like financial or wealth related, saves you time, saves you money. And then it also eliminates the stress of having to wonder, if you're doing it right, or, if you are doing it right or you're doing it wrong. And also the whole thing with, like, everybody knows, like, if you go to do some of us are like kinetic learners, some of us are auditory learners, some of us are the visual learners. But here's the thing, is that a really good coach will teach you how to do all three at once. So someone might be really good at like learning things through Google and reading things off books and things like that. But if they don't have someone to actually show them and show them through visuals, but also show them through like the kinetic and this is how you do it, step 1, step 2, step 3, they're just really not going to get anywhere. They're just going to stay stagnant. So that's kind of like when someone says, well, I don't know if I really need someone to teach me how to do this, or what makes your thing special versus just all the free information on Google. Well, it's because I'm not included in the Google package. I'm only included in the package where you are sitting down one-on-one with me and getting that kind of feedback. Okay. So the next three thing, put in a statement about how they will feel about when their lives do indeed change. So they're like, yeah, that sounds great. They're like, yeah, I want to be supported. Yeah, I want to coach. Yeah, I want to be confident. I want access to the knowledge. Yeah. Okay, so how would my life be different? Life would be a lot different, right? You'd be confident, supported, inspired. Okay, those are just my keywords here. Victoria says, I want children to be able to say they want to be a professional psychic when they grow up without stigma. That's the legacy I would love to leave, plus tons of money. That's awesome, Victoria. That's awesome. And then the next thing I have here is I have an image now, okay? So I've taken someone as just someone who has, able to read cards. Sure, they can throw down a spread, and they do this on their own time anyways. They do this for fun, right? And then now I'm flipping the light bulb on, and I'm showing women with money. So for Rachel, this might be someone who is laying down some cards and they're smiling. For like Marissa, this could be someone who is, working with some herbs and they're smiling. You want to give you want to portray some sort of image that shows people like a positive reflection of what they could have. Does that make sense? So your picture is really important when it comes to like this part of it, when you're like leading them through this journey of saying, no, this is actually possible for me. Okay, this is how my life would change. Bam, then you give them that photo, that frame of reference that shows them this is what it could look like. Okay, so that's why I say, Canva, iStock, Creative Market, on your sales pages, especially for your big ticket items, the ones that you're going to have multiple pages with, you want to make sure that you take some time to really pick some photos that are going to accurately reflect it. Like, I wouldn't want to put just another picture of someone reading tarot here. That wouldn't really drive the point home. Instead, I have chosen to put two women, and I've chose one woman of African descent, one white woman. They both have stacks of money. And also on your sales pages, you really want to be multicultural as well, as best as you can. Now, it's very difficult to find spiritual photos with women or men of African descent or Asian descent. It's, it's very difficult. We're getting better. More and more pictures are coming along. So I would always choose some sort of multi-ethnical type of photo over versus, someone who just, whitewashing the whole thing. Even if it doesn't directly relate to exactly what you're selling, I would still try to find some photo that has, a multicultural type of perspective to it, because there's a lot of African Americans, a lot of African people of descent who want to buy your course, but if they don't see themselves represented on there, they're not going to feel included. They're going to feel, again, like this is just something that white people can have, or this is just something that, further deepens the narrative that only white people are worth this type of thing. And that's not the energy that we want to give out, especially as, the type of people we are. Spiritual, we choose to be inclusive and things like that. So try to be inclusive as possible, even if it means you have to forfeit that perfect stock photo right there in that moment. You can put that stock photo somewhere else. You can put it down further down the line. Trust me, people do go all the way down to the bottom. But, your second photo should be multicultural if possible. Rachel says, what your life could be. You could be kicking your heels, skipping the slow cashiers at the store, and wowing clients with your abilities. Rachel says, crown is buzzing. Yay, downloading stuff. Cool. And so here's some subtle NLP, which is basically subtle hypnosis. What if I told you This is for the skeptics. They don't believe you, right? They're still not quite, they don't quite believe you. But what if I told you? What if I just told you this? That by investing in, learning, and putting to action this life-changing information, you couldn't fail. Okay, so this is where we're telling people that if they follow our step-by-step process, this path that we have laid out for them, failure is impossible. The only way people can fail is if they don't try, okay? So for the first time in a lot of people's lives, they're someone's telling them that they could actually do something, especially in our industry where it's like there's a lot of there's a lot of hate, and there's this whole thing about how you shouldn't charge for spiritual services and things like that, and there's this whole other part of it to where people are being told that they shouldn't do this because it's the work of the devil and things like that. So what you have to realize is there's so much outside stimulus telling people that they can't do something. So it is your job, your responsibility at this point now to tell them you could, you can, and I can show you the way. Be the person that says yes, you can, in the room of people that says no, you can't, right? I say that all the time. And there's plenty of, if you go into the group, there's plenty of situations in which I've showed you guys that where, some people are just really rude and really harsh. And so you kind of want to be that person that says, actually, no, you can do this. You can do it. I've done it. Other people do it. It's a normal everyday thing. And so you're kind of normalizing this whole thing, and then they're saying, okay, well, okay, maybe I can do it. And remember back to the first person that actually believed in you, in your life in general. They actually said that your dream wasn't stupid, or that what your thinking wasn't dumb, or that you could actually do what you thought, and what did that change for you? It probably changed a whole lot in your life, right? Probably changed a lot. I remember certain, people in my life. My mother is one of them, who I was blessed with a really wonderful mother, who told me that I could do anything and be anybody and all that kind of thing. I had lots of family members that didn't agree with that, and so we were kind of the black sheep, and we kind of, we were always the odd ones out at, family functions and things like that. But look, I grew up today to be someone that believes that I can do anything that I want to do. And so all it takes is that one person. And so if you can be that one person that says, yes, you can, then you're already one step closer to converting them. All right. Ask 3 questions. Implant their potential. Okay, so we want to ask people, we want to think about how people are going to be, how their life is going to be better, right? How would your life change for the better? Who would you become? How many people could you help, right? For you, that might be different. For Rachel, that might be, what kind of diviner would you become? How would your life change for the better if you had a good connection with your spiritual gifts? How many people could you help with your spiritual gifts? Everyone in this group is we all pretty much want to help people with our spiritual gifts, and we all want to help other people help people with their spiritual gifts. It's something we all kind of have in common. We do that because we know that by working with someone that we actually help millions by helping one person, because it's like that pay it forward kind of energy, right? And that's really big in our industry. It's about a movement. It's about a spirituality movement. It's about acceptance. And again, it kind of goes back to that social justice type of platform, that movement that your business is based around. That what it is, the big thing that you're doing, this movement that you're trying to push out there for people. And so you kind of want to suggest that the person reading that could also be part of that movement, and could also be an organizer in that movement, and could possibly also create their own movement, right? And so if you were reading this, how would your life change for the better? Who would you become? Immediately, that person may have thoughts starting to come up that kind of go over, like, what they would look like, and what if they could be a teacher, and what if they could teach people how to do what you do, and all that kind of thing. So it gets people excited about the future. And then you want to tell them how they are wasting time by not enrolling in your program and what's waiting for them. So one thing that we all have in common that transcends everything is that we're all going to die someday. Our time on this earth is limited, right? Our time is the most precious thing that we have, and everybody has that in common. Every single person. So, you need to tell people how they're wasting their precious time by not enrolling in your course, not booking your package, that sort of thing. Can you really afford to waste another year? What are they doing? How are they wasting their time? They're second guessing themselves. They're hiding in plain sight. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're making excuses, right? So you want to think back to your ideal client and say, okay, how are they actually wasting their time? And you want to bring that to their attention. You know, people, for whatever reason, we have this, especially in the Western world, we have this idea that, we're always going to be around and that nobody ever dies and that, people just as they get old, they just disappear, and we're really disconnected from that process. And so part of the whole spirituality movement too, for me, is like reminding people, hey, like, come on, we only have like 80 years. That's not a long time at all, right? And so when you think about your life in terms of 80 years, every moment becomes really precious, right? So you want to tell people how they're wasting their time and how every moment that they're not enrolled in your course or in your package with you is just more time that they could have been helping other people, right? Or that they could have been, they could have been working with other people to make a movement that's important to them. Like we have a lot of LGBT people in here. We have a lot of ethnically diverse people in here. And so everybody's got their own agenda. And that's something you have to realize too. So everybody has their own agenda. And if you can tap into that person's agenda and you can like get them on fire for what it is that they want to see changed in the world, then at that point, then it's a sure bet with conversion because you're giving them the tools to make that happen. And so it takes them from in the moment feeling kind of hopeless and feeling like they just don't know anything and like they're just at a really bad point to basically thinking about the future in terms of what they could accomplish. So it takes them from all like feeling closed in and feeling closed off and blocked to opening themselves up and wondering about what could be, right? And then you want to smash through their illusions. You want to tell them basically why it's all bullshit. Like, why everything that they believe is just BS. You want to tell them. Tell them what they're struggling with can actually be easy, right? And this is kind of where that authenticity kind of comes in, because you need to be able to have experience to be able to prove to people that this is actually easy. If you don't have that experience behind you, it's going to be really hard because people don't see you modeling that behavior. Modeling the behavior, modeling the experience is so important. So this is why I still do tarot readings. Like I could I could stop doing tarot readings completely, and I could just give that up completely and just do it as something that I enjoy. But what would that say about me as a business coach that teaches people how to make money reading tarot cards? That would not be authentic, right? That would not be in integrity for me. So some of you also kind of have to think about, how am I modeling this? How am I best modeling this in a way that they can actually see that I'm modeling this? Because they're going to be looking for that third-party proof. If you don't have that third-party proof, they're not going to believe you. They're just going to simply think that you're making things up or you don't know what you're talking about. If you have that proof, like I have, you can go to my Etsy store. You can look at all my Etsy reviews. You can look up on my social, not my social, but my hotline profiles and things like that. Like I have a bunch of social proof that proves that yes, I have been reading tarot for a long time. I'm a good tarot reader and I've made a lot of money doing it, right? So it's important to have that key component in there, because if you don't have that modeling behavior in there and you're not modeling that outside, if you're not projecting that out, it's going to be really hard to sell. Does that make sense with everybody? And so what I've said is smashing through their illusions. Starting your own tarot oracle reading business doesn't have to be a struggle. I will show you how to make it fun and easy to find clients, fill your books, and finally start living the dream of reading for others professionally. So what I have done here is I've kind of reworked this initial statement right here, where I'm talking about like what I'm teaching and what are the 3 benefits that they're going to get after they've gone through my course. I'm going to kind of redo that here. I'm going to talk about it just a little bit, and then I'm going to edit it just a little bit. So it's still kind of saying the same thing, but it's like recapping this. So we've taken them through the this whole process up to now, right? Do you guys see this process as it's unfolding? So we're talking about the benefits. We've talking about what's possible for them. We've addressed their limiting beliefs. We've addressed how they're wasting time. So we're smashing through all the BS that they think is what's keeping them from their goals, which is not anything to do with what's keeping them from their goals. It's just that they don't know what they don't know. They don't have the information, so they don't know. They can't see how to get from point A to point B if they don't have that information in here. And your course, your session, your package is the roadmap from point A to point B. Okay. Another image I have here is another woman with money, and I say, will you join us? And this is the new thing that I have here. Okay. So then you're going to do your first sign up now with payment buttons and links to your refund policy, cancellation policy, privacy policy, terms of service, and terms and conditions. So now, if you are selling something that's only $100, you could probably leave your sales page off right here. If it's $100 or less, you could probably just leave it off right here. That's fine. A good rule of thumb is for every $100, make them scroll at least once. Does that make sense? Like scroll down a page at least once for every $100. And you want to put at least a couple payment buttons in between there. So you don't want to just have this long ass sales page and then have the payment buttons then at the bottom. People are going to get tired of reading it, right? And then they're going to want to enroll right now, and then they're going to have time to think about it, and you don't want to give them that time. You just want to say, while they're ready to buy, while they're like, yeah, this is awesome, I need this, okay, give them the payment button. Talk about what they're getting, talk about the price, that sort of thing. The legal stuff, you're going to want to put your legal stuff, your refund policy, your cancellation policy, terms of service, and here I've just linked to my outside terms of service. Privacy policy, linked to my outside privacy policy. And then if you have any special notes or anything like that, for example, I've had some confusion where people think that subscribing for $45 a month is a payment plan for the course, and it's not. It's just a subscription. So I had to put a little note in here just to kind of make that a little bit more obvious. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put in your about you. How are you different? What is your experience? So you're kind of backing up all of those grandeur statements. Like they're going to think it's grandeur. They're going to think it's like really out there. They're going to think that you're promising them the sun, the moon, and the stars. And so here's your opportunity to give a picture of you, talk about how you're qualified, bonus points if you want to add some sort of video or sound file and a picture of you. So I have, hi, I'm Christina Quick, and I've been a professional tarot reader, numerologist, natal astrologist since 2009. True. I started out just like you, wondering if it was truly possible to earn an income from selling tarot cards and selling tarot card and oracle readings. True. And then in 2011, I found myself laid off and deciding I would never let anyone else hold my financial fate. I started reading tarot full time. So you kind of want to go through this process. Like, I started out just like you. I was wondering if this was really possible for me. Then I just started doing it, and I started making some headway. It was really tough. I learned along the way that I made a lot of mistakes, but I did find myself suddenly thrown into this. It's kind of like the hero's journey, like I found myself kind of thrown into this, and it was just a matter of either I'm going to make it or I'm not. And obviously I've made it because I'm reading the sales page to you today, right? Like that's the natural assumption. And then I have this podcast I did with Heather, and it says 3 ways to make tarot your business, which basically just kind of goes over the sales page. It just kind of goes over like you need a tribe to support you, you need to learn marketing skills, like all of those very basic things that I teach people. And then you want to say how you're different. So I'm a different kind of coach. And so you want to say, especially if a lot of you at this point have, had this sad, misfortunate experience of investing in a coach or a program that was really bad and terrible and nothing quite like this course, which is why, this course is a unicorn. This course itself is a unicorn. This is part of my big mission. Going back to my big mission is, I talk about this all the time where I had to, sell a whole bunch of stuff to hire my first coach, and I would have, although it taught me a lot of things, I would have preferred not to have to do that in my life. And if only I had something out there that I needed that was affordable as well. And so that's why I talk about the polarization of between me and these other people out there. So, yeah. So I talk about, why I'm different. I talk about, which I probably need to change the color. I probably need to make this black, but, you can always adjust your sales page. You're always going to find something wrong with it that you can go back and fix. But I talk about why I'm different. I talk about why this course is different. I talk about um, why, for example, for one thing, I talk about this is the only way to do it approach is outdated and is a creativity killer. So that's one thing you're going to find online a lot. That's what I found online a lot was, if you just do, this one thing, and then I was like, but I don't really want to do that one thing. Is there a different way I could do this? Well, I wanted to create a course that, gave multiple ways to do things and wasn't just stuck on the one way to do things. That's why there's like a million different content creation calendars. That's why there's like a million different ways that you can run your business. But I tried to give you guys these formulas and things like that you can use across all platforms and stuff. So does that make sense? Why you need to polarize? You need to polarize because you need to tell people why you're different. You need to tell people why investing in you and not someone else who is doing a similar thing is their best choice. Okay, and then you're going to do 3 core benefits that working with you will accomplish. Think bigger picture. So this is very information based, right? So you're going to learn how to optimize your time so you work smarter, not harder, so you can spend more time with your family. Set your own hours with complete control of your schedule so that you don't miss out on life special events. Replace or supplement your full-time job so that you can keep up financially and break through the feast or famine vortex. So what 3 things is your course, your package, your session, what is that going to, yeah, it is, Marissa says polarize is like differentiation. It is. Polarize is a little bit more of an aggressive form of differentiation. Yeah. But you want to actually tell them, okay, so what am I going to actually teach you? What are the benefits of that? And then I put another picture. And then you want to talk about the 3 ways that you will support them, which could be, it could be a lot of different things, just kind of depending on how you want to set it up. You could have a group. You could do personal check-ins with accountability. You could do video trainings, phone calls, lead circles, full moon rituals. Oh my gosh, there's so many things that you could do. Exclusive workshops, like Rachel does, exclusive challenges in her academy and things like that. So you kind of want to tell people like what they're gonna get inside of whatever it is they're buying that is different from what you're offering out there in your free groups, right? So for me, it's stay up to date with new cutting-edge technologies to grow your business and reading methods with workshops, series, and bonus trainings added frequently. So this is kind of like your exclusive things. Go at your own speed and choose your own adventure masterclass that will teach you the fundamentals. Start wherever feels good to you, implement, and then move on to the next module. So this is like your indoctrination. Like whatever it is that you're doing, I hope that you have some sort of like 101 for whatever you're teaching, right? Even if your client isn't exactly 101, you still want to have like 101 according to you and like your beliefs about how these things work and things like that. So you definitely want to have some sort of like very beginning sort of like belief pattern that you can kind of put into video or like explain to people when you get on that first call with them or something like that. So you want to have like your very own version of whatever it is that you're doing that's based on your own experiences. And then I also have ongoing support in our private Facebook group with me and the other like-minded tarotpreneurs. And so this is where the community aspect comes into play. Okay, so especially if you're running a membership site, one of the key drivers of converting really well with a membership site is the community aspect of it, right? Because, for example, if someone wants the one-on-one, if you're selling a one-on-one package, the key driving conversion thing for them is getting that one-on-one time with you and not having to get their answers through the community, right? So it's like you need to figure out how does that client learn best? How does that client get the best out of their experience with you? And how are you going to offer that? Okay. So you're going to see like either people will really, like I'm a community person. I don't really like doing one-on-one coaching with people personally. That reflects in my business because I only really work with like 1 or 2 people at a time. So that's just kind of like a reflection that I have. I prefer to join group programs. I prefer to be more in the group coaching programs because I like to learn through the hive mind kind of thing. Whereas one-on-one, it's all right for me. But for all the experiences I've had, I've never really um, I've learned always more in a group setting than a one-on-one setting. However, you may be totally different. You may be someone who really excels in one-on-one but feels lost in the group community. Okay? And so wherever you feel the best and most confident is typically what you're going to want to sell. If you if you would never hire a one-on-one coach and like get one-on-one training, I sure hope that you're not selling one-on-one training. I hope that you're not selling one-on-one packages, because there's a level of authenticity there that's not there. You are not modeling that behavior. If you're not modeling that behavior, you're not going to get the conversion. Whereas if you are someone who really enjoys the group community type of thing and you want to sell a membership site, I really hope that you are involved in other people's membership sites and other people's communities and things like that. It all kind of comes back to that modeling behavior. All right, and then outline what they will receive. Okay, so here's what you get. And I say, oh wow, I need to update that. That's like it says 100 hours of content. That's, yeah, we're almost at like 200. So lectures, templates, checklists, and more just waiting for you to devour. Make money on Facebook in your pajamas and messy bun from home, pants optional. This is my ideal client. My ideal client wants to make money from home. They want to make money from home on their pajamas, and they don't want to have to, get the in-person clients. Like, that's why I put that quirky thing. That's why if you go to my group, you'll see make money from home on Facebook, pants optional. That's something quirky that I put out there that like only a certain type of person is really going to resonate with that, which is my ideal client, which is the person that just wants to work from home. They just want to make some cash from home. They don't really care about the in-person stuff or renting the room, and so maybe they do some meetups every now and again, or maybe they do a circle lead every now and again, but the majority of my clients really just want to work from home. They're introverts. They just want to be comfortable in their pajamas and things like that. So put something quirky in there that will kind of like really talk to the person that you really want to enroll in your course or your package or whatever. And then I go into here and I go through the modules, which this all needs to be updated. This is very old, but this will do for now. And I also say the course will grow. Your one-time payment secures all past and future content. And then you're going to want to go into your bonuses. Always, 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 always include bonuses. I can't stress that enough. Yes, your course, your package, whatever is enough, but bonuses are like those fast action bonuses that they really, if someone's like very much on the edge of their seat, they're almost ready to click the checkout button, and they're like, oh, I really want this. And then they get to the bonuses and they're like, oh my god, then it's like game on for them, because then they see all of this other stuff that's included in it, Like, for example, I include my bonus workshops, the Give the Most Epic Tarot Readings for ... series. I include that. There's the Quick Start program, which is the free challenge, the Crushing It on the Hotlines, like 3-part series. So all of this old content that you have that is not getting you good leads, meaning it's not like your most popular content, put it in as a bonus. Take it off of, public viewing. Say, okay, fine, whatever, you guys, it's not quote unquote popular. Put it into your thing as a bonus. So that way you're like, it makes it appeal like it has a lot more value than it does. And it also helps you kind of utilize that old content in a new way, and it kind of like gets people interested in the content. Whereas for free, there's just a weird thing that happens. There's just a weird thing. Your content could be like the most awesome content ever, but if it's free, people simply don't value it. But if they see it as a part of a bonus, as part of your course, then all of a sudden, then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I need that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really weird. Oh, Latanya says, what sold me is I felt intuitively that you were approachable and you could relate to my pain. I read about you 6 months before I purchased and I remembered you. Oh, I knew you would be my teacher and mentor. Then I lost your information and vowed not to buy into another program until I found your information again. I kept searching and was led to Rachel's group, and then I found you again. When I did, I signed up. Awesome. That's great. That's great. And part of being approachable is a big thing for me. It really is, because I've been in programs and courses and things like that where you didn't really get to feel like you got to know that person, you know. And for me, part of the experience is like getting to know that person and getting to understand them, and more than just the business, but like actually becoming quote unquote friends with them. And I don't mean like besties, like you don't go to Ibiza together or something like that. I just mean like there's this level of being acquaintances. There's like this level of understanding. There's this level of connection. And I definitely agree. And I thank you, Latanya, for saying that, because that's a big part of what I try to do. Kimberly says, popping in before y'all say goodbye. All right. Good to see you, Kimberly. We are almost done. I know this is going to be another 2-hour training, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so then you're going to go into who the program is for, who the program is not for. This is important. You realize the life of a unicorn isn't all limited edition frappuccinos and rainbows. The horn isn't just for show. So basically, it's not for posers. It's not for people that think that they are just, it's not for the people that are going to get results from this course are the people that have a business mindset, people that really actually want to make money. The people that are not going to get a lot of this course are the people that just want to, say that they have a business, but they don't really have a business. You know what I mean? And so again, you kind of have to polarize here. You know that running a business means investing time and money into yourself, and you're not afraid to use your imagination and creativity to get your branding together, your website up, your office packages together. That statement right there is saying, if you are codependent, do not come into this course, because I'm not going to mother you. I'm not going to baby you. It means that you're going to have to do your own work. You're going to have to do your own research. You're going to have to spend additional money. You can't make money without spending money. That's just how business is. And so, I put this statement in here because I didn't want people to come in here and think that they were going to just, walk out making $5K a month. And surely it is possible. You can surely do that on the hotlines. But, if we're going to be thinking about like passive income, if we're going to be thinking about making $1 million, residually over the next 10 years, something like that, next 5 to 10 years, then the hotlines is obviously not going to provide that for us, because at that point we're still selling time for money, right? And so for the people that actually want to run the business and actually, are not afraid to start thinking about the long-term plan, the 10-year plan, that's who this statement is for. And the last one is, that humor and being able to laugh at yourself when you make mistakes is an essential building block of your business. And while you're serious about your business, you don't take everything else in life so seriously. A technical glitch or a goof up isn't going to destroy you, but provide a learning opportunity for next time. And so why I put this in here is because, listen, tech is hard. Tech is not easy. It sucks. Sometimes things happen that we have no control over. Sometimes we have to learn new programs. Sometimes programs completely change overnight and we have to relearn how to do something. And so this statement is for the person that's flexible, for the person that is adaptable, for the person that's going to learn how to grow with their business. And so basically what this statement says is that if you're inflexible, or if technology is like, if you can't stand technology or you hate technology and things like that, this course is probably not for you, right? And so I've kind of talked about this here, and you can go onto the sales page if you want. I'm just going to kind of try to wrap up things here. And then you want to do your reviews, right? Your 3 to 5 testimonials with pictures, preferably pictures. You may have to bribe your people. I give out a 10-minute 3-card reading, 3 to 5 card reading for anybody who wants to give me a really good 2 to 3 paragraph review with their picture and their link to their website. And so that's what I offer. And some of these reviews also I got when I initially launched the beta version of my course, which was 3 years ago now, if you can believe it, 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. I released a 10-module audio version of this course, which was very basic information. I mean, like I teach more in my workshops now than I taught in that 10 initial free beta. But I sent it out to, I sent that free course out to 100 people, and I ended up getting like 5 or 6 reviews out of that, and that's how I ended up building up my first group, is I gave the beta version of this course. And so some of these you'll see, like Freya's, I guess I need to put her name on there. Freya and Sharon, you guys don't know them because I took the beta version. And then again, you want your next second sign up now with payment buttons and links Again, repeat your refund policy, cancellation policy, especially if you're going to be taking PayPal, because you need to have all of this information on your sales page in case someone does a chargeback on you. The more proof that you can have that all this information was readily available at the time of sale, the better you're going to have at a chance of winning your thing with them. Okay, and then here's another thing that you can do. I should probably put this on here. I haven't had this on here in a long time. I like to think I'm pretty accessible, but again, maybe I should probably put like I think I should probably put like a little button like inbox me on Messenger to discuss if this is a right fit for you. But if you want to do some sort of invitation to inbox you, or like a contact form would be good, or if you want, you can put like your business phone number. Basically, so like if someone's still not convinced, like they pretty much know they want to buy, but they're still not quite 100% convinced, that's just like the last, cherry on top to where, you are saying, again, like what LaTanya said, it's that approachability of it, saying, hey, let's just talk about it. If you have some doubts, I'm here. Let's just have a chat and see if this is, the right thing for you. Okay? Oh, this was a good one, you guys. This was a good one. So let me know, did you guys get anything out of this? Is sales pages a little bit less scary for you now? Do you guys think that this worksheet that I've given you is going to really help you put together some really good sales pages? Let me know what you're thinking right now. I know I just like brain dumped into you guys and gave you a whole bunch of information, but let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you have any questions about sales pages? Do you have any questions about anything to do with sales pages? Any questions about anything to do with SSLs? Lynn says yes. She feels more confident. Very good. I have my fan on, and so my little earrings that keep blowing away. LaTanya says this was good. I haven't made it this far yet, but I'm still glad I attended and will be watching again. Okay, cool. Cool. Lynn says the sheet is a good reference to help me remember for later. Yeah. Good. I'm glad. Yep, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'll help you to the best of my ability. The reason why I'm not going to show you how to actually set it up is because everybody in here is using something a little bit different. So we have some people that are using Entrepages, we have some people that are using Squarespace, we have some people that are using Weebly, we have some people that are using WordPress, and so, if I had to sit here and do demo sales page building for every single type of platform y'all are doing, I mean, that could easily take a month worth of time. So, but, I'm willing to do it, but there has to be enough, there has to be enough desire for that to be there, for me to do something like that. How many of you are on WordPress? Is anybody on WordPress? Does you guys have a visual builder? Or are you guys quite not there yet? I've been making notes as we go along here to help me with the direction I'm moving in. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to learning about that on during office hours today. Lynn, if you want to send me some office hour information today about what direction you're kind of wanting to go in, and then I can kind of help you from there. That should have been posted already, so it should be in the group already. You're on WordPress. Okay, LaTanya's on Site Builder. Yeah, so it's like, oh, it's really hard because all of the different platforms. I have Visual Builder, prefer not to use it. Really, you may like Visual Builder when it comes to sales pages. You may. For like blog posts and things like that, I don't really use Visual Builder. But for like sales pages or like creating opt-in pages, I definitely use the visual. Oh, okay. Lynn says I was going to use WordPress as I used to have GoDaddy, but it closed. Yeah, I would do I would do self-hosted WordPress, and most hosts have some sort of quick install to where it's really easy to set it up. Or you can always pay for a domain through them, but you're gonna end up overpaying if you do it that way. But it may be worth the convenience fee for you to do it that way. It just kind of depends. Like I've been building websites since like 2002, 2003. So, I have a lot of I've been building web pages for 15 years. Longer than that. I'm going to be 31. I've probably been building web pages for probably 18 years. So, I have that background. But if you don't have that background, then you may want to go through WordPress itself and just, do the easy route. I've never used Site Builder before. Site Builder is that let me look it up online. One I really like is create your own website with Site Builder. Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's like it's like excuse me, it's like Wix or Weebly or something like that. Where is it like a drag and drop? You just kind of drag and drop things around. Is that what Site Builder is? I don't see a problem with that. It should be fine. And it says, e-commerce, so you can add a store and things like that too. As far as like using, it kind of just depends on where you want to be, Latanya. If you are going to be setting up a membership site, I do not recommend Wix or Weebly or any of those places for membership sites. But if you're just going to be doing like a course, or you're just going to be doing, like selling individual products, totally cool. One thing I would look into, whatever site builder that you choose to go with, I would look into see if you can password protect pages, if you can make pages private, or if you can set up some sort of like member directory. That would be the thing that I would look for immediately when signing up on a new or signing up for any website builder, is what are the capabilities of hiding certain pages and things like that. Because if you want to build a course at some point, you could put it on Thinkific, sure, but you could also put it on your website too. So just kind of depends on where you want to go, but Site Builder looks fine to me. Ideally, WordPress would probably be the better option, but if you're not ready for that, then you're not ready for it. WordPress comes with a pretty big learning curve, so. All right, any last questions? And I'll let you ladies go, and I hope you have a really great Monday. I hope you have a really good week. Remember, we're doing bookkeeping this week, so if you have any questions about accounting, if you have any questions about if something is tax deductible or how to file something as a deduction and things like that, I will be more than happy to help you later this week. All right, and are we doing it? No, we'll do Psychic Circle. So I'll see Psychic Circle people this Friday. All right, I'll see you in the Facebook group. Thank you so much for coming today.